Hi guys. Today we're gonna talk about Wordle. It's definitely become a massive sensation with now the fact that New York Times has taken it over. Um, what's interesting is how quickly this thing just spread like wildfire, right? I mean, I personally know at least like 20, 25 people who are playing it, and you look at Twitter, and the number of tweets that relate to Wordle are in the hundreds of thousands. So I kept thinking, what's so special about Wordle, right? Because at least when we were kids, we all used to. I think a lot of us remember, Hangman, right? So you tried to guess the letter, then you know what happens at the end. But then, when it came to Wordle itself, the very fact that, I mean, it's focused on just five-letter words. I think has some effect, because if you really think about it, you know, five letters doesn't seem too long. It doesn't seem too short. It doesn't. You always keep thinking that it's not going to be too complex of a word. But then the funny thing was, I started looking into it, and as per Scrabble, apparently there are about 8,000. Well, depending on which article you read, there are anywhere from 8,758 to 12,000 and change, five-letter words. But Scrabble apparently, recognizes only 8,996. So let's keep 9,000 five-letter words. So the list is finite, but then you can still, have so many different permutations and combinations to reach, those 9,000 letters. So the other thing is, okay, so it's a finite list, but then the simplicity of the game itself is something that's lending to its popularity. Once again, when it comes to, I know this isn't like a hardcore, game, but then people love playing against each other. You're playing with your friends, you're playing with people, you can share it on social media. And the other funny thing is, you get only six chances, so it's I mean that it's like having that timer, when you're trying to answer a question, except you only have six chances here. And then the funny thing is, you get to see everybody's, the progression, or whether they win or they lose. But the beginning of the story and the end of the story is like right there. And then the very fact that, at least in my case, I mean, not that I know all the five-letter words, but then I think I know a bunch. And I think, at least in my case, one of the interesting things was every time I didn't get one, I kept thinking, I'm like, man, how come I didn't know that? And that's actually what, got me looking into the number of five-letter words there were. But then I think that's the other thing, the fact that you think it's so simple, but it isn't really that simple. The fact that you can play with others, the fact that you can, share things with people. And at the end of the day, I mean, winning or losing at the end of the day is, a chemical reaction in the brain. So, I mean, a lot of major video game producers, they look at dopamine levels and whatnot. And I would actually be pretty curious to know what sort of dopamine spikes you get in your brain, when you actually win something. Um, but I mean, point is, it's it's something that's absolutely so simple, and it's amazing that it's caught on like wildfire. And it's if these are some of the things that when you really think about it, it's like you don't expect something like this to actually catch on so well. And I doubt you could do market research to figure out that something like this could work. So a lot of it is trial and error. And if you really think about how this game came about, I mean, it was basically a guy that wanted to do something for his girl, right? And they used to play word games, and Wordle came up. So um Point is, the experimentation, and sometimes things just catch on. And I'm actually pretty curious to see, if there's going to be a Wordle 2.0 or whatever it is. I mean, now it started off with 5 letters. Maybe there's going to be six. Maybe there's going to be seven. But then it's very interesting to see, these sudden spike in trends. And, there are some lessons to be learned, from all of this. Um, so, for me, Wordle is, uh, anything can become popular. Simplicity is extremely important. Um, People love to, play games and win. Um, Playing with your friends or other people, basically multiplayer gaming is here to stay. It's just a quick one for today. We'll see what else comes up because, in the technology space, there's always something new that's coming up every other day. So that's it for this one. See you later.